Why do I have two? That's ridiculous. That's insane. Multiplier, you've gone mad. You've got two telephones. That's stupid. It's not. I shall explain in this video why it's great. A year or two ago, I did a video called Stop Being Distracted by Your Phone, all about turning off notifications, deleting apps you don't need, and just generally not being distracted by this thing. And that's becoming pretty trendy right now. There's a book about it. This from a guy called Cow something, or it's this book. It's excellent. It's taking off in the world, and it's Casey Neistat did a great video about it too. It's much better than this one. Something about quitting social media and social media addiction, being addicted to these things. And that gave me an idea. In fact, one specific thing in the Casey Neistat video solved a problem for me, and it solved it in a very elegant way, which is the whole point of this video and why I have two telephones, which sounds weird because how is adding another telephone helping the telephone addiction? This is my old telephone. I didn't buy a new one. It's my old telephone. It's bigger, but it's my old one, so it didn't cost any money. It was in a drawer. And that's my new telephone just dropped onto the floor. On the old, I'll do a screenshot. On the old telephone, screenshot complete, you will see the apps I have. What are you doing, maniac? I don't want to annotate it. That's ridiculous. Done. Just cancel. What's going on? I'm too old for this. All these bips and beeps and what's that? What's going on there as well? Madness. Okay. Look at the apps I have. You probably see them on screen now. Look at the apps I have on this telephone and see if you can guess how this is solving a problem. 1 minute Mississippi, 2. You could probably figured it out by now. As you've guessed, on my main telephone, the day-to-day telephone that I carry in my pocket, walking about in the world, looking at ducks and chasing birds in the park, I don't have Facebook and Instagram at all. I have Facebook Messenger, so I can message the homies and through the Facebook Messenger on here, but I don't have any feeds. I don't have any of those flicking through endless feeds apps on my phone. No Twitter, I don't use Twitter anyway. No Twitter, no Facebook, no Instagram, none of that. It's all on this second phone. And importantly, this lives in the studio. It lives there, out of shot, sort of on that. And what happens is when I'm in the studio, I can take a look. So I can check the Instagram, which I enjoy. I enjoy checking it a few times a day. Seeing what people are saying. What's up? Oh, cool. James Outich has done a post and someone's advertising to me. Friend, other friend. Ooh, another friend. I have friends. Yay! And I can connect with the world. People, record store. That's fun. And surfing. Wowzers trousers. That's cool as well. Nice, brilliant. I've genuinely got value out of this. Click, close, maybe make a post on Multiplier. Not that I'd take that seriously enough. Oof, missed. Excellent, I feel fantastic. I've gotten value out of the service. Now with my normal telephone, I can walk around the world, do things. I can walk about, live my life without that thing people do, where you feel every void in the day, every slight dip in stimulation, attention, sort of things to get you excited and about. So you know how you probably experienced it. If you have Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, or Bebo, or Friendster, MyTube, Face and things, if you have any of these apps on your telephone, what happens is, initially, it's great. You go, oh, I've got some free time. Let's see what the homies are doing on Facebook. Cool, brilliant, excellent. And then you do it again, and then you do it again. And what you find is a month or two later, you're not even thinking. You're literally not thinking. I mean, think about the last time you checked Instagram or Facebook or TubeFace or my Twitter. I bet you didn't consciously think, I wonder if there's something great on Instagram. You probably, without thinking, got your phone out, flick, flick, tap, or tap, tap, flick, and then you're just doing this. Flick, 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 without actually deciding to do so. And that's not good. And not to mention, you're probably doing it 30 to 80 times a day, maybe even more. For lots of you, it'll be more. It was more for me back before I did all this, and it wasn't good. That's not a good way to experience and get value off the platform. I mean, yes, there's getting some value, but to quote Casey Neistat, the signal to noise ratio, the value to noise ratio is all kinds of whack and not balanced. It's not good. Mostly noise, and it's more of an addiction, and you want to be conscious about it. Flick, 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 flick. Oh, is that good? Oh, algorithms. Oh, AI. the tech overlords stimulate me, advertise to me, must buy things, must like things, validate things, people, myself, everything. What's flick, flick, flick? That's great. No, it's not. So this solves all the problems. Because, as I alluded to earlier, by having it in the studio, I check it once or twice a day. Once or twice a day, maybe 3 or 4 times if it's a long day in the studio. I don't put it next to me. It's not in the main bit of the studio zone. It's sort of hidden away off to the side intentionally, so it's not sort of, I don't feel that urge to sort of check it all day long. So it's in the studio. I check it a few times a day. I get, wow, my voice went weird. I check it a few times a day. I get all the value I need, but without that incessant check-in, without that default brain behavior of sort of get phone out, flick, flick, check, without consciously thinking, which people do all the time. I see it in the street. I see it in friends. I did it myself for years until I deleted them all off my phone. It's a separate topic. Think about it. Checking 50 times a day doesn't give you more value than 3 times or 2 times or 4 times. If it's a busy day, 4 times could be useful, but 40 times, no more useful. Arguably less useful, not even the same level of use, worse. So this solves all those problems, because when you don't have the apps on your phone, gently over here, when you don't have the apps on your telephone, the sort of default brain behavior thing just disappears. It's gone. So now I don't have that impulse. And I get up in the morning, I don't sort of, before talking to my partner, I don't sort of reach for my phone and go flick, flick, flick without thinking. I don't, when I'm in the supermarket, when I'm looking at all the snacks, when there's a not very good snack, I don't get my phone out and flick, flick, flick. When I'm outside walking in the countryside or a forest and I see a beautiful tree and maybe the next tree next to it's not as beautiful, and I go, that tree's not as beautiful. What I don't do is, I've got my sentences all muddled up. Multipliers, ramblings, talking about trees. I think you know my point here. When I'm in the nature, experiencing the world, either deep in thought or relaxing or being content in the silence with the beauty and the birds and the bees, or maybe I'm listening to an audiobook, I'm not sort of checking my phone every 5 minutes, either because I feel like I'm looking for something or subconsciously without even thinking. If you don't have the apps on your phone, you don't have that impulse. You just live your life, and it's great. It's excellent. I highly recommend it. The specific idea of using an old phone was from Casey Neistat in this video. So do that and get an old telephone. It doesn't need to be good or fast or amazing, because you can, I've got the Files app on here, for example, as you can see. So I can take a picture on my good telephone and sort of send it across via the internet and magic through the sky to my old telephone, post it to Instagram, because there's no good way to do it through the computer. I tried considering that and doing that. So I went maybe around the time I did the other video, stop being distracted by your telephone or your phone. I did a video about basically not being distracted by this thing. Around that time, I spent 2 to 3 years just not using the apps. I didn't have Facebook on my phone, didn't have Instagram, Twitter and everything. Not that I use Twitter, but I basically had none of the apps on my phone. And that was great. But it meant that I either didn't use them or I had to use them on my laptop, and that's not good either. So yes, you could argue, maybe, don't have the apps on your phone, but use Facebook and Instagram through the laptop. But then what happens is you end up building that same default check-in behavior on the laptop. So every time you're in the studio, before you consciously think, you sort of go to the internet and click Facebook, or go to search F and it goes Facebook, and bing, oh, it's autocomplete. I'm on Facebook. I didn't even think about doing that. I just went to the studio, and without consciously thinking, now I'm on Facebook on my computer. That's the same as the phone, but just on the computer, and that's bad. So the only way around that is to not use it on the computer, because if it's on the telephone, off to the side in the studio, I just don't check it very often. I don't have that default checking behavior because it's a bit inconvenient. It's very accessible. I can check it in the day without having to, log in or do anything weird, or install an app on my phone. I can do all that, but it's not within reach. And if it's just slightly out of reach, you don't check it. It doesn't become a part of your default checking behavior, as it's not within reach. So it doesn't become a default. That is a lot of word jumbly words from multiplier, but hopefully something as has made you go, ooh, excellent idea. I shall do that as well. I will have my social media app things on my telephone, on an old telephone. Great with the words today, I would say. And then keep your day-to-day telephone social media free for the most part. Whatever makes sense for you. It's nicer. Highly recommend it. It's excellent. Catch you guys on the flippity flip.